December 29th, 1963. The town is Chicago. The two best football teams in the world meet in a deadline to glory.
That was the first game I ever went to. My uncles couldn't have picked a better game for me to go to.
No one has played middle linebacker better than Dick Butkus.
In my opinion, the greatest defensive football player that ever lived. Gale Sayers once asked me who was better, me or Peyton. I said, if I need one game, I want you. If I need a season, I'll take Walter. He says, that sounds fair. Changed the whole culture of the Chicago Bears. Enjoyed working with the guy, enjoyed being friends with the guy, and he's a legend.
You're 100% right, but you're a pain in the butt.
I actually cried when they won the Super Bowl. I couldn't believe it.
I just have one thing to say. We all have bragging rights over the whole goddamn country.
Lovie Smith was a heck of a coach. Now, he's not a Lovie Smith fan, but he made me a Lovie Smith fan. Matt Nagy sabotaged his career. Him and Trubisky had something good going. They made the playoffs twice in 4 years. He took his career, threw it in the dumpster, and now he's getting coffee for Andy Reid. I like the Bears for third place this year, but surprise us. 5 to 6 teams a year that make the playoffs are new teams that didn't make it the year before. Hopefully they'll be one of them.
Welcome, everyone, to a fresh episode of the Mike North Advantage, brought to you by our friends over at Hoffman Estates, Rahl Jewelers. Mike, how are you, my friend?
I'm feeling great, Aldo. I feel good. I'm happy to wake up and be ready to do another action-packed show today. But before we do, ladies and gentlemen, Rahl Jewelers, okay? Rahl Jewelers. I don't wear jewelry when we do this show because it's dangerous, okay? You get hooked up on something, okay? But if I had jewelry on right now, it would be from Rahl Jewelers at 847-765-3000. Yeah, 3001 Barrington Road, Hoffman Estates. Ask for Brad, ask for Ryan, ask for anybody over there. You see somebody walking in, ask for them. Do what you got to do. Get in there. I have jewelry. I bought jewelry for my wife for her birthday from Rahl Jewelers. Go out and get an estimate. If you think you can go to the Jewelry Depot or the Jewel Exchange or any of those, bring in the estimate, and then say you want the Mike North deal. It's very simple. Rahl Jewelers, thanks for that, my friends. What can I tell you? We're 1-2, exactly where I thought we'd be. Probably. I don't pick a team for third place unless I actually know they're going to lose some games. What we wanted was, though, to win early. We didn't want to have to depend on, and what nobody's talked about yet is the bad news is yet to come for this football team. This football team is not put together right. Bill Belichick said it last week. It's amazing that nobody quotes him during broadcasts or anything else when he says they're doing it basically ass backwards. You build the line first, and then you have the quarterback come in. I explained that. I don't know if he was listening to the show last week because he made the statement. Then I saw it up on Twitter later on, or X, if you will, where he talked about that line after basically he stole my thunder. I had basically said you build the 85 Bears the same way, 81, 82, 83. We don't have an offensive line on this football team. Our running back room is horrible. There's no two ways about it right now. Not only can the offensive line not pass block, but they can't run block. And I think the Chicago Bears know that. There was no reason for Caleb Williams to throw 50 passes yesterday. And I had said, not only on this show, but I said it on the Odds Couple show on AM 1000, where I actually picked Indianapolis to win this game. I thought, what's everybody so surprised for today? They were favored. With that quarterback, I do know this. I'd rather have Caleb Williams any day of the week than that guy. And I'd rather have him than Will Levis. Okay? So, and I think that he improved yesterday. But once again, it was just a terribly managed game. The play calling was baffling. You have the 4 plays. I'm sure that you talked about it with everybody you can talk to today, including Coach Gabriel and everybody else. If you're going to run the ball 4 times, run it 3 times and kick the field goal. If your 4th down play is the Oklahoma option play, where you pitch it back and the guy is actually 10 yards farther from the goal line than he was, okay, then you take the points. I don't know. Eberflus is not that good a head coach to begin with. So playing this, I'm going to go for it when you got more than 2 yards to go. The coaches in the National Football League have proven to me in the professional ranks from baseball, football, basketball, and hockey, they're the dumbest bunch of screwballs I've ever seen in my life. I see points in the first quarter passed up. I saw Philadelphia. They were lucky to win yesterday. Their coach passes up points all the time because they believe in analytics, and that's going to stop you at the end. That's going to stop you at the end. You don't drive that far down and then think, I'm going to run the ball 4 straight times. And last week they did it. It tells me one thing. They're afraid to let Caleb Williams throw in the red zone. Mm-hmm. You got a talented kid that can roll out, can throw the ball on a dime if he's getting time, can option and decide to run if he wants. You have him sitting back there half the time with no protection, no blocking back. And on top of that, you're never going to have a running game if you have a quarterback that can't take a snap under center. 90% of the snaps yesterday were shotguns. How are you going to have a successful running game like that? It would have been tough for Walter Payton to do that. I mean, I heard generational, I heard this, I heard that, and he's probably going to be okay. Can't take a snap under center. High school kids can do that. He took a couple. I go, this isn't going to work. You're letting them pin their ears back right off the bat, and if you decide to hand off, you're back there with them, okay? He's 3-4 yards behind the ball, but you're just handing them right here. It's not going to work. You need pitch outs. You need screens, okay? You found a tight end yesterday. I think Cole Kmet must have heard me talk about Bowers, saying, we could have a double tight end thing with Cole and Bowers. Cole says, we don't need Bowers. I got 10 catches. So Caleb Williams discovered him. The one interception I thought was an excellent play by the defense. I didn't think it was that bad a throw. I did see improvement from him, from Caleb Williams. I thought the offensive line a lot better than you're going to pass 50 times in a close ball game. You got to give him credit. He didn't get mangled like he did the week before when they played a more talented line. So this whole thing, we're farther away than we've ever been. Farther away than we've ever been. And I hear people preaching patience. Patience for what? Don't preach patience to a guy that's 72 years old that's been a Bear fan since 1961 and has 2 championships to show for it in 60-some years. Take that and shove it somewhere else, and you with it. That's just coach speak. That's media speak. That's nonsense. Because you know what division we're in? Probably one of the best divisions in football. It wasn't supposed to be that way, was it, folks? Minnesota looks great. Sam Darnold looks unbelievable. A different team, different coach. Green Bay, I got a feeling they could take me off the street or Eldo, LaFleur, and say, look, we know that you played Park District ball back in the 90s, but we think you can help us here. And he'd figure out a way to win the game. Malik Willis, Sam Darnold, Detroit with Goff. We're not winning for another decade, kids. I got some bad news for everybody. These teams are young. These teams have great coaches. Where do you think we're going with this patience talk? Where are we going? Tell me what happens at the end of the patience. Because I've reached the end of that. That was just a terrible game plan. I've been watching football my whole life. Terrible game plan. And, I hate to bring it up every week, but our running back room, and Carmen DeFalco, my buddy on the odds couple, he thinks we have a good quarterback room because our running backs, like Herbert and Swift, have averages of 4.5 in their career or higher. But they're not load backs. They can carry the ball 150 times and then they're done for the year. I'll give you a perfect example. David Montgomery, okay, carried the ball his last year with the Bears 293 times. He carried the ball 950 times. Aldo's going, Jesus, I don't know if this can go on like this. Now we're giving this guy's got statistics to back this stuff up. Before he used to just fly off the handle. I mean, he made David Montgomery ran the ball over 950 times in 4 years. There's nobody on this team in 4 years that will run that ball 900 times. I'm going to give you some statistics because that's what I do. You got Swift, who's averaged 4 yards a carry or better. Of course, he's been on 2 teams. He's been on Detroit, and they didn't want him, and Philadelphia, and they didn't want him. Or they let him go. He's 5'9", 216 pounds. 13 carries, 20 yards. Okay? 1.8 yards a carry. Then you got Khalil Herbert, 5'9". It's a thing. It's a thing with the Bear coaching staff. How tall is he? 5'10", too big. Can we get somebody 5'9"? 5'9", 4 carries, 9 yards, 212 yards. Okay? Now, I just read you. They're really dwarfs. They're dwarfs. Montgomery, 5'11", 230 pounds, averaging 4.5 yards a carry, had 105 yards yesterday. They haven't replaced him. They let him walk. They let him go to Detroit. And we haven't had a running back since. So everybody's up to go, okay, Mike, please, no more. Oh, no, I'm not done yet. Oh, no. Let's go to Roquan Smith, because this is for Bear fans. I remember I said, Roquan Smith, he's an inside linebacker. We can't pay him that kind of money. That's right. They're at the diner. Hey, Joey, you can't pay Smith $20 million, right? Let's help the McCaskies out here. What do you think? What do you think, Doris? You're right, Mike. Let's help the McCaskies. Bear fans are the McCaskies now. I remember the argument. We can't play Roquan Smith that kind of money. He's an inside linebacker. They forgot to say he's a generational linebacker. They forgot to say yesterday, just out of curiosity, I said, I'll look at the statistics. 11 tackles, 7 solo. You know the biggest Bear linebacker yesterday? You know how many tackles he had? And we got Edmonds, 5 tackles. So we got rid of him. And I'm not even going to go into it, but it's a tradition. We haven't replaced Mitch yet. Maybe we will with Caleb. So those are 3 guys that were pretty good football players for us. We let walk. We've replaced them. We've replaced linemen. We've replaced defensive linemen. Jack Sanborn should be on the field every time. I saw him last week block the first pass. Okay? Block the first pass. It was the night game. Excuse me. Block the first pass. Everybody remembers it? I go, what a play. They took him off the field. Was he just like play certain downs? The guy's all over the place. Try putting him in. Try some different things. And Shane Waldron, he can't call. He can't call games. The coaching staff can't think on their feet. Do you know? I mean, to call a timeout. Billy Martin said this. What makes a manager is you got to be 2 steps ahead. You don't think, seriously, Eberflus didn't think ahead in that situation where they had to call a timeout? The coaching staff right now, not very good. The front office, not very good. The fat cat, Kevin Warren, with his suit and his orange bear tie, standing there, sitting in the booth. Get the stadium done. We're paying people on the Bear staff money for the stadium, and nobody's doing anything. It's laying out there empty. To see a decent football game, you got to get in a car and go to Indianapolis, and then the football game sucks. So, things better change, but I'm just telling you, we have a long way to go, and not because of just us. Minnesota, Detroit, and Green Bay are up-and-comers. They're up-and-comers. And you got to look at Minnesota as a legitimate contender right now. You got to look at Detroit as a contender. You got to look at Green Bay as a contender, and you look at the Bears as a pretender. So, make your comments. I'd like to hear from you guys. And although that's my synopsis of this game, I mean, I don't think I was off. I did a lot of homework on this today. We have a situation, and then you're trying field goals from 55 yards, and then your kicker ain't strong enough. And I see guys kicking 58, 60, 61 yarders now. It seems like the Bears are still trying to get their passing game going like it was for everybody else. And now everybody's running the ball, and we can't run the ball. So while the Bears have been waiting to finally get a quarterback that they think is good enough, everybody else is running the hell out of the football right now, and it's showing. So it was a bad day for the Chicago Bears, but let me say this. When Vegas looks at, by the way, both those quarterbacks, I'm just saying, I was here. 15, 20, 30, and 40 years ago, they never get off the bench for 3 years, these two guys. Ever. You sit there and you learn the game, just like Green Bay does. So that's what I got. I wish I had better news for everybody, except for the fact that Sam Darnold and Justin Fields, which is the ultimate slap to most coaches out there, including Carolina, who had Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. They had Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, and the Chicago Bears. Darnold's 3-0, Fields is 3-0. And I know, Aldo, you got to be happy about your guy Fields. And you know what? He's on time. He's happy. They run the football. Competent coaching. Just a much better organization. And the kid looks comfortable right now. And Sam Darnold looks like a new man.
Mike, one of the things that you said is, you knocked the whole idea of patience. Mm-hmm. Well, patience is paying off for Justin Fields.
Yes.
Patience is paying off for Sam Darnold, who has been in the league since 2018 and is finally, after 8 years in the league, 9 years, he's finally looking like a starting quarterback. You have to have patience when you talk about.
You can't wait 8 years for a guy to come through.
Well, I'm not saying that. The bet on Caleb Williams is that it's going to take a season or so, not 8 seasons. Okay. But you're the one propping up Sam Darnold, not me. I think Sam Darnold, that balloon is going to burst.
It probably will
for all these other quarterbacks.
It probably will, Aldo.
Regarding snaps, you're saying that Caleb doesn't know how to take snaps in the center. That's right. In high school and in college, they don't do that anymore.
Well, it's too bad.
Out of the shotgun.
Everybody else in the league does it. It's too damn bad.
What do you mean it's too bad?
What are you talking about? You can't take every quarterback knows how to. It's Brady knew how to take a snap under center. I mean,
Mike, it's different now. Mike, it's not the same it was when you were driving a
My God, Aldo, are you telling me that I saw quarterbacks all day long yesterday taking snaps under center?
Right, and he's learning how to take snaps. It takes patience. Again, a word that you don't understand. Patience.
Wait, I didn't use that word. Somebody else did. You got to know how to take
You brought it up.
I don't know what you're so mad about. If you think a quarterback
I'm not mad, I'm debating you.
If
you're the one telling me
you're being very defensive. He can't take a snap under center, and he's a professional football player? Are you serious?
I am serious because that's the way football has been going the last several years. It's running gun offenses. It's quarterbacks working out of the shotgun and handing off. It's the NFL that still works out of the traditional under center, and he's learning how to do that. That's what I'm saying.
Wow. A first pick is learning. Justin Fields takes a snap under center. I watched him yesterday. I don't care. You should know how by now.
Goodness. Justin Fields, the guy that you criticized, that you lambasted for 3 years while he was a Bear. Now you're using him as an example.
No, you know why, Aldo? Because he left the team. Sam Darnold was a Jet. He was a Panther. He went to a good organization. Justin Fields, he'd be here today losing If you think patience meant staying with the Bears, if you think that was going to happen,
that's a good point, Mike. That's a good point.
Come on.
I'm not arguing that this coaching staff knows how to develop quarterbacks because the proof is in history. They do not. They failed with Trubisky.
We always got to go to that.
And right now, they're failing Caleb Williams. And all three of those guys could, let's leave Caleb out because his career is only 3 games old. But Fields and Caleb Williams would have been, Mitch Trubisky would have been much further along in terms of their execution of how to be an NFL quarterback if they weren't members of the Chicago Bears.
That's a great point. That's my point. Darnold played with the Jets and the Panthers. Okay, never had a chance. I mean, I might bring Zach Wilson in. I mean, if you play for the Jets and the Panthers, look at Baker Mayfield. He played for Cleveland. They crapped all over him there, and they made the playoffs. They trade him to the Panthers. He can't play. Now look at him. Now they lost yesterday, but he looks a whole lot better. And the bottom line is, yesterday I watched the games all day. People were taking snaps under 7. It was balanced. He took maybe 2. I'm sorry.
I agree with your point. I'm just saying that he has to learn how to take snaps because of the way quarterbacks are being brought into the National Football.
Well, you know what? I would say this, that the shame of it is the 5 of these guys, and it's a shame that he's got to learn it because it kills your play action. It just kills play action.
I agree.
You cannot have every running play where he's in a 5-yard set. You can't do it. And if he's got to do it now, yesterday he did go under center, but the bottom line is that in the pros, I mean, Mahomes does both. Brady did both. The great quarterbacks do both. I'm not saying that.
Let's use Mahomes as an example. Mahomes in college did not play under.
Never.
They played an air raid offense. So what happens? He sits an entire year to learn from Alex Smith how to play the pro quarterback.
Right.
That is why they develop quarterbacks well and the Bears don't.
But you want to know something, Aldo? You, me, and nobody in America thought Mahomes was going to be this good.
No, you're wrong again. I showed you.
Did you think he was going to be? Did you think he was going to be the greatest, maybe outside of Brady so far in your life?
I did not think that. But I said he was the best quarterback coming out of that draft.
Okay,
he was better than Deshaun Watson because Watson threw too many interceptions, and he's better than Trubisky, who had only 13 games of college football experience. Mahomes had a magical quality like Brett Favre. That was the name I used in comparing.
Well, you know what? Congratulations on you, but nobody picked him to win. I know you had him. But nobody predicted Michael Jordan would be what he was.
Well, so KC moved up to the top 10 to draft Patrick Mahomes. So they had some inkling that this guy was special.
He was special, but you know what? Kansas City's smart. They got a smart organization.
Right, and the Bears don't. You're absolutely right.
And they don't.
That was
Ryan Cole.
Before we move on, just a couple of questions and thoughts from people.
Sure.
Michael Hunsinger, I think he's a friend of yours. He says, good things happen when you involve Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet caught 8-9 passes yesterday, and the offense started to finally move once Shane Waldron realized Kmet was on the team.
Yeah, so, Shane Waldron has been a downgrade.
Mike, you ain't kidding. That's an understatement.
Yeah.
He's awful. Jamal Lewis says, and by the way, Jamal says, you look great. He hasn't seen you in a long time. He says, sounds like Mike is starting to like Caleb Williams just a bit. Is that fair to say?
Yes, I do. I loved Mitch. I didn't like Fields. I love Caleb. I'm happy for Fields. I'm happy for Darnold. Yesterday, everybody was exposed. The Bears were exposed. The Panthers were exposed. Bad football teams who don't know how to bring along quarterbacks were exposed yesterday. I mean, that's just the way it is.
One more here regarding the running attack. Bruhaw says he thinks you're being a little too harsh with the running back room. He says, I got to say, the entire room isn't terrible. They're terrible. They're only utilizing Swift. So Rashawn Johnson got into the game. He's a 6 foot tall, 225-pound back, and he was much more effective than these smaller guys. I think that was a great point you pointed out. These small guys aren't cutting it.
Yeah, he had 8 carries for 30 yards, so I'm happy for him. I want to see them put him in the backfield and start him, and let's see where he goes. Because I don't see it right now. I don't think they have the blocking. I think their offensive line is one of the worst in pro football. We want to use Rashawn more until maybe next week he has 10 carries for 32 yards. You know what I mean? So he's the running back of the day. This is what I told Carmen. You got a running back by committee. This is the Chicago Bears. We not only cannot get the quarterback thing right, okay, although Caleb Williams, that ball, like I said last week, flies out of his hands.
Oh, my goodness.
And he found some nice little areas. He threw a couple interceptions, couple touchdowns by Warren Kurtz. Also, the offensive line did play better yesterday. You're going to throw 50 times when you only should have thrown 25. I said to everybody last week, and I said it on the bar room here, and I said it also on ESPN 1000. If they pass more than they run, they'll lose. I want to know, were they down 30-0 where they had to pass 50 times? I mean, what are you doing? No rhyme or reason. You misuse of timeouts, game management, another nightmare. Eberflus comes on afterwards and says, we got to get better. How many years you been a coach? Here's what I'm going to tell everybody, and whether Eberflus likes it or not, that's fine. The Minnesota head coach, O'Connell, top line coach, great coach. They don't use injuries as an excuse. We lost, we got Sam Darnold. Cousins is gone. Walk. 3-0. Green Bay, LaFleur, Malik Willis. LaFleur is one of the best coaches in football. If I owned the Chicago Bears, I would do the Craig Council. I'd go to Milwaukee, and this better work out better than the Craig Council thing. I try to hijack him for the Bears because you're taking Malik Willis and you're winning football games. Okay. And then you got Detroit with Goff. Okay? We're in trouble, folks, for a long time in this division. And that has nothing to do with, our players just aren't as talented all around. DJ Moore has turned into a nice little possession receiver now. The nice little Dick Gordon, the 5-yard out pattern. What we dreamed of when we gave him all that money.
Number 45, yeah. Dick Gordon,
right? He caught like 90 passes one year, and I think his yards per catch were 4.5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the one? Keenan McCardle, is that his name?
Yeah, I think so. McCardle, yeah.
Useless right now. You got a sore heel? You mean nothing's broken?
Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen. I'm sorry. Keenan McCardle. Wait, Keenan Allen? Wait, you got a sore heel. A sore heel. Nothing's broken. And you can't get on the field. You dropped a touchdown in the first game. Useless so far. Useless. So, you know what? The defense, once again, they played nobody. They lost. I can't believe that guy. First of all, I'm here to tell you, Caleb Williams will be playing football long after Anthony Richardson's gone.
Oh, my gosh. Yes.
Long after he's gone.
Yeah.
But good coaches win football games with quarterbacks like Malik Willis and Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
We got guys like Mitch Fields and Caleb, and we can't get out of our way. And all three of those guys are more talented than them.
I'm with you, brother.
Period. All right.
I want to show you one thing, Mike.
I like you when you show me one thing.
Tell me whose statistics these are. The first 4 games of their NFL career. The first game, 21 out of 37, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Second game, 21 out of 33, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. The third game of his NFL career, 20 out of 44, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and then 19 completions, 32 out of 32 attempts, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. A terrible start to a Hall of Fame career. Want to take a guess who it is?
I'm going to go. It's either Manning or it's Steve Young.
Mike, you're good. Peyton Manning.
I'm not Manning. Oh yeah, but you know what? If he came back tomorrow at 22 years old, I would package Caleb and about 5 other guys. But you're right, Aldo. You're right. It's a team breakdown. Last week we could pinpoint certain things.
Mm-hmm.
This week, everything broke down. I'm watching Iowa last year, and this punter kicking the ball. The kids, they wait from the hospital, the ball's hitting the windows. That's how far he could kick it. Yesterday, he's kicking 38 yards. You come to the Bears and you got a club foot. My God. You know the hospital by Iowa they waved to? The balls were hit. I mean, the guy was kicking, punting 55-yarders. My God.
All right, let us move on to our next segment, which we call...
Say what?
We argue. All right. Now we have...
Argue, and then they embrace afterwards.
Absolutely. That's what this is all about. I mean, we're arguing basically about the same thing, only certain ways to get there. I'm going to tell everybody this. This is one of my fun things to put together because I watch a lot of TV. I mean, I might start another show, Mikey TV, and just
I love it.
Yeah, what the hell? Start another show, just talk about some series. By the way, I know it's not the same guy. How dare you? I love Kathy Bates, but you're not Matlock. All right? You're not Matlock. What's next?
Here's the thing. She's not Matlock.
I know.
She's playing Matlock.
I know. It's hilarious, but they know that the name is synonymous.
Oh, yes. You're absolutely right.
What's the next one? The Angie Griffith show with Angie Dickinson as the sheriff?
I'd love to see that.
Oh, my God. Well, not now.
From, years ago.
Years ago. All right. Let's start off with some tweets today, okay? And say what? Yeah, say what? And I hope everybody's enjoying the show.
Everybody loves it.
This is from Greg Gabes, who just had the show on before us.
That's right.
Lots of people on here bitching when they have no idea what they are talking about. Y'all wanted a rookie quarterback. No, we didn't, Greg. No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
That's true.
I wanted Cousins. And I wanted Harrison as the number one pick. And then I wanted to take a quarterback down the road. So when you say y'all, no, a lot of people probably didn't. Y'all wanted a rookie quarterback. Now live with the consequences that come with it. It will come better, but it takes time. Prove it. You forget what team it is. And Greg, I think there should be a rule for anybody Greg's one of the bright minds in football. This guy ran the scouting department for the Chicago Bears. This guy was with New York. This guy's been around the block, okay? But he hasn't been in Chicago for 72 years, okay?
That's true. He's from Buffalo.
Take the patience. That's coach speak. That's coach speak. If you want to say, you know what, for you 40 and unders, it's going to take patience. For Bear fans that have been around from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, shove that somewhere else. Because I got 2 championships to show for it since 1961. So the patience thing, peddle that somewhere else, Greg. All due respect. You're a hell of a guy, hell of a coach, and you've been huge for the bar room. Bring instant credibility. But don't preach patience. Not with this football club. Okay? Because there's no guarantees. So that's my opinion on that. Number 2.
By the way, real quick, my prayers have been answered. We're going to get a cage match between Mike North and Greg Gabriel.
See, you want to I don't want to instigate. I don't want to fight him.
It's a verbal debate.
Oh, yeah. It's a verbal debate, but that's coach speak, patience. And you know what? He said this is what we all wanted. I didn't hear about patience till the beginning of the season almost. During training camp, we had nothing but good news coming out of there. That's a hype machine. The Bear media, whether it's podcasting, whether it's print, whether it's TV, makes Pravda look factual. My God. I hear the reports out of camp, and everybody does a good job, and I appreciate it. But my God, you gotta be kidding me. David Hall. How seriously can anyone really take the Bears as a playoff caliber team when they can't even beat a winless Colts team with an erratic quarterback? Well, Dave, you had them in the playoffs?
You did.
That's how seriously you were? You actually had this team in the playoffs. I had them for 3rd place. It's right in our intro.
That's right.
You people got to put the headsets down, start writing down the amount of times you've been wrong about the Bears. From Justin Field to Mitch Trubisky to I'll throw Cade McNown. Write them down. But I won't have a big list. But, man, there's some people there that have big lists. He says here, they can't even beat a winless Colt team with an erratic quarterback. We should have lost the first game. We should have been winless. We weren't favored yesterday, my friend. It wasn't an upset. The Colts were -1. So you're wrong about that. They're not a playoff team. And for your expectations for them to be they were, come on. Come on. And then I get Bryce Young. Bryce Young, the Carolina Panthers took heat, and I heard from the national media they were unfair to Bryce Young. Last week I was on the show going, the guy missed 4 or 5 open guys. They were in Andy Dalton, and I watched that football team yesterday afterwards in the locker room. They thought they won the Super Bowl. Relief their quarterback, Bryce Young, is gone, and happiness that they got a guy, I don't care how old he is, that threw for a few touchdowns and had a rating of 135. I mean, I'd like to play back all the nonsense I heard about how poor Bryce Young was being mistreated. You had 18 games. You couldn't come close. There was a bad draft pick. You were undersized. And yes, maybe you'll go somewhere else and become a star. Maybe you'll go somewhere else and become a star. But come on.
He's so small.
Too small.
My goodness. He weighs 175 pounds.
And Zach's right. Dalton was unbelievable.
Yeah. Gets
rid of the ball, knows how to play the position. Maurice Jones-Drew, I think that's who he is.
Mm-hmm.
I watch him on NFL Network Final with Chris Rose.
Mm-hmm.
When you're an ex-player, it's hard to criticize players, and you want to, hang out with players, and you want to be buddies with them. But to say in the Atlanta game that wasn't pass interference, and next time Cousins should throw the ball higher to his receiver in the end zone when he was blasted, just like the Chief player was blasted last week, and that was called. Clearly, pass interference in the end zone. Maurice Jones-Drew is saying throw it higher next time. He would have still been interfered with. It would have been higher, but he would have been hit. What are you watching? Don't go giving excuses for Mahomes or anybody else. That was pass interference to the 10th degree. You're right, Robbie.
Do you think the Chiefs get preference by officials?
Well, last week they had the call. This week they didn't. That was plain to see. What do you have a bat judge for? The guy's standing right there.
He was standing right there. He wasn't looking. He wasn't looking at the interference. He was looking somewhere else.
The pass is right there. He got blasted before he caught the ball. That's pass interference. They should have won that football game. Kansas City's 3-0. 2 of those have been very fortunate.
Yeah.
Okay. Danny Parkins.
I remember him
from Fox Sports TV. Mark Schlereth says to him, you said that Caleb Williams was a generational quarterback, and it doesn't look like he is right now. Are you concerned? And Danny Parkins says to him, well, that's a stupid question. Well, Danny, there's no stupid questions without stupid statements. And when you said he'd be the best Bear quarterback ever, and you might be right, but he hadn't taken a snap yet, and now we're watching, you didn't learn anything from the previous 4 or 5 years. Now you're showing that on national TV, okay, in front of a larger audience, hopefully. So I'm just trying to help you along here. Get off the proclamations like that, okay? Because people you'll start losing your credibility. That's all I'm telling you. Jim McMahon had 72 records. Jim McMahon had like 50 games above 500. Jim McMahon led the team to a Super Bowl. Jim McMahon was a franchise quarterback. Caleb Williams can only pray, and that he'll be better than Jim McMahon. Because if he is, he'll be an all-timer. And let's see what else I got here. Oh, more. You know where Fox made a mistake, Al?
Where?
They hired the wrong guy. They hired Brady.
Right.
instead of Belichick in the booth.
Oh,
Belichick's better than Brady, folks. I've been watching Belichick on Inside the NFL on the NFL Network. I've been watching him on other shows. I even turned on the Manningcast, which blows, by the way. And you can always tell which side Peyton's on, how much money he put on. He gets disgusted with bad core. He's pounding. He's laying the dough down. Bill Belichick, if he was on Fox analyzing the game, 10 times better. I listened to Tom yesterday. He's visual. He's dreamy. He's that perfect guy. He's out there with the core. Everything's perfect. Not a hair out of place. Once you go to the game, he's not on for 3 hours, and you're listening to average analysts. Yeah, and BB's the best, though, because now you're going to give him a chance.
Of course, every woman says that.
Give him a chance. I was like, good. Out of nowhere. Well, give him a chance. So it's Tom Brady, man. Every woman, give him a chance. Every guy in America going, Tom, you got to be better than this. They loaded $350 million on him, and that was a waste of money. Belichick is a better analyst. He really is. Tom's tries to fit things in. Belichick sits back in the studio now, and you just listen to the guy. Yeah, you just listen to him. So just an outstanding thing. That's it for my you have anything that you caught over the weekend?
Nothing that comes to mind. Let me check the comments real quick to see if anybody has.
I read some tweets. I love it.
Bruja has a question for you. He says, what defines forward momentum in the National Football League?
The Minnesota Vikings. Until it gets stopped. Oh, forward momentum as far as forward progress. With the
I think that's what he means.
Yeah, forward progress. Eldo was looking. My teacher once said, "You got to have some forward momentum." As I was sitting in the back of the class, that play was allowed to go on. I think the ref screwed up that play.
Yes.
I don't want to sound like Joe Fan, but I think the Bears got screwed around on that play. That was a sack, and that wasn't a sack. And that forward momentum stuff, give me a break. And I'll tell you the one I can't believe. The tush push.
Oh my goodness!
Wait, they had to. What are you going to push him an inch every second? They're running. It's like 20 seconds. They're trying to get it over there, and I thought that the Bears, for a brief 2-3 seconds, stopped them for a minute.
Yeah,
but they let that go on. And they didn't let the quarterback one go on, and he's still being spun around and moving and trying to get away. Folks, listen. You think I like bringing you this news every day? You think I like talking Bear football? That's all I've been doing on the bar room for 5 years, 6 years. So I think this is good. This line, I showed you the line. I didn't have one. It goes down here and over this side. You know what I mean? I'm going to start dressing. I'm going to start putting makeup on like the Joker. My God.
Zach does say that he thinks that the Bears have been getting some calls so far this season, and that's not the norm. I have to kind of agree with him. I think that with the exception of a play or two, the officials yesterday gave the benefit of the doubt more times to the Bears than the Colts.
We have the meanest logo in football and the most passive football team.
I hear you, brother. All right, it's time to move on.
Anything goes.
All right, anything goes. Well, I'll tell you what. On the, I was 2-1 with my picks for the odds couple. I'm 3-1, ladies and gentlemen, right here. We'll be giving our picks at the end of the
few minutes.
I just got a message from Joe Mandel. We're going to have reminding everybody tomorrow night. Eugene Mercury Morris. I think it's tomorrow night, isn't it, Eldo? Tuesday, I think so.
Yes, it is tomorrow. Correct.
Somebody big just died. Let me just say a few brief things here. It started out, it was really 3 men. Now, this is a running back by committee. This is not Swift, Johnson. Okay. And it's not the Bears and Herbert. It's not. Zonka, Mercury Morris, and Jim Kick. It was originally Kick and Zonka. But then they found Eugene Mercury Morris. I'm not going to say too much. I want you to tune in tomorrow night. It will be out on Twitter, the Times, everything tomorrow night. Make sure you tune in because it's going to be fun. He was, I think, as proud as any Miami Dolphin that they were undefeated. And I've said this, and I know Mahomes took his team to task yesterday, and I said to Aldo at the beginning of the season, Kansas City's on a mission. I don't think they can go undefeated, too many games. Yeah. But I would have liked to see him with the 14-game schedule plus the playoffs and stuff that they used to have. Could they do it? I don't know. They've won 2 games. They should have lost already. That's how usually that happens. But Eugene Mercury Morris tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen.
And let me just say, I might look forward to that episode of Somebody Big Just Died tomorrow at, I think, 7:30.
By Cumberland Chapels and by Pennyville Station.
Yes, the 2 sponsors for that show. Without them, we would be nothing here at the Barroom. But truly, Mercury Morris was an inspiration because I'll tell you what, he reminded me so much of Gale Sayers. But Gale was a few notches above him, but the lightning speed, the game-breaking action, he was great. And there's so much backstory that I know you're going to bring to tomorrow's episode. It's a can't miss.
Yeah, I mean, there's drug use. He's in the wrong place at the wrong time. You're in Miami back in those days, ladies and gentlemen. But he did clean himself up. He always had a bottle of champagne. He said he was gonna, he was gonna give it to whoever could break that record. That record, it looks like, will never be broken. This is big news. White Sox have picked up a pitcher. You believe that the White Sox, Ron Mataccio, they picked up a pitcher and optioned him to Double-A Birmingham. What happened over there? What is going on over there? They act like putting that out is going to solve everything. Okay.
Yeah, they should have kept that a secret.
The only thing good about him, he's Italian. I think that's about it, but I don't know. A sure sign that we got to get more realistic about the Bears. There's some great podcasters out there, you know. Greg Braggs and his guys. 5 out of the 6 picked the Bears yesterday. I just wanted to let my boys on Meatball. That's Meatball Island over there. That's Meatball Island. You know what they should do? I should have BB make some meatballs and send them to them. You know what I mean?
That'd be hilarious.
My God. And the Sun Times too. Everybody, Calendar, the whole ball. I don't know. They all picked them. I said, oh God, no, please.
I want to know who you're going to pick for the Bears-Rams game.
Wow. How about that? Well, let's go to the games right now because
all right, hold on a second. I got a little graphic for that. It's time for Pick More Than My Nose. And by the way, I have another little graphic.
The games first. I'll pick the nose in a minute.
Okay.
And I'll pick somebody else's nose too.
Don't pick mine.
Before I do, guys, I'm just going to go over the scores. The Jets 24, New England 3. Jets are going all the way. Super Bowl. We finally got a quarterback. The Patriots may not win another game all year. I heard somebody say that today. Be careful what you're saying. They got very fortunate their first 2 games. Okay? Be careful. But it was a big Mike Greenberg going like this right now. Giants 21, the Browns 15. Deshaun Watson, a complete bust. The Browns, a complete bust. Gave guaranteed money. The Giants win 21 to 15. Danny Dimes shows up, puts the critics to sleep for at least a week in that town, New York. The Green Bay Packers, you lose your quarterback. You're 2-1. You put up 30 points. And the Titans, Will Levis will never be good. I'm here to tell you, release him now. I am here. Release him now. You got rid of Ryan Tannehill for him? That's what you wanted? Okay. I know Ryan Tannehill's a little old in the tooth. That's what you wanted. You couldn't wait. Okay. The Bears lose to the Colts 21-16. One of the worst games of the day. But it was an intriguing game. I never thought we were going to come back. I think we're incapable of coming back right now. The Vikings 34, the Texans 7. They are the surprise of the season. Sam Darnold's the surprise of the season. Aldo wants patience. You know what? I think at 7th or 8 years, you probably figure he can't play, but he could. And same with Steve Young and Jim Plunkett and other players now like Justin Fields. Now, let's see where these guys are afterwards. I mean, the Steelers could lose 5 in a row. Minnesota could lose 5 in a row. We don't know. But the early returns are 3-0, 3-0. And I'm happy for both of them. I said it the other day. I was very hard on Sam Darnold, deservedly. But the teams were bad too. And Sam, way to go out and get it. And the same for Justin. Yep. I don't mind being wrong if you eventually prove me wrong. Here's what I'm going to tell everybody, though. If you play for the Bears, this may not happen. Bears should draft somebody and then trade them to somebody else, and they'll become a star. It's very simple. Okay? Unbelievable. If you told me Darnold and Fields were going to be 6-0, who had that on their bingo card? No. The Eagles 15, of course, the Saints 12. The Saints were the talk of the town, like the Vikings are now. Derek Carr returns as he's playing a decent team, and they don't get it done.
Mike, real quick, do you think Ryan Poles made a mistake signing DeAndre Swift and not going after Saquon Barkley?
Oh, my God. I think the Giants made a mistake.
Yeah,
and in the same division. In the same division, and you're watching Saquon Barkley. That's right, folks. I watch the shows. I watch all the games. Running. What?
Yeah.
That was me running out of school on the last day, heading for the beach. That's how fast he was running. Are you kidding me?
And with power and speed, yeah.
Oh, my God, power and speed. The Broncos 26, the Buccaneers 7. This was one of my big plays yesterday. Bo Nix looks good, folks. Bo Nix looked good. The Buccaneers were playing with a head of steam at home. Just a big-time loss for Tampa Bay as Bo Nix right now takes the lead in the rookie quarterback derby. Caleb Williams and the rest of the guys. Caleb played better yesterday, like I said. Jaden Daniels is playing tonight. Penix hasn't played yet. And McCarthy's injured. The Panthers 36, the Raiders 22. Devastating loss. Devontae Adams in a world of peace. A lot of guys pissed off. Antonio Pierce telling them. Some people making business decisions that aren't Raiders business on the sidelines. Acting up and showing disgust and not being a team. He goes, we're going to make some business decisions too. That's my kind of coach. Okay? He ain't messing around. Seahawks 24, the Dolphins 3. This was the one I took the Dolphins. And they're front runners. They can't beat anybody good. Tua is out. Skylar Thompson shouldn't have started. It should have been that kid Boyle. They brought him in later on, but it was too late as Seahawks put up 17 points. That's the defense, too, for the Dolphins. 17-3, they were winning after the first quarter. That was enough, 24-3. Ravens 28, Cowboys 25. They were winning 28-6. And then the Cowboys put it together. I still like Mike McCarthy as a coach, but Carmen doesn't like Mike McCarthy, Carmen DeFalco, and I don't like John Harbaugh. Yesterday, if you watched the game, you both gave us reason not to like either one of them, ladies and gentlemen. You gave us both reason. Carmen was wondering what the hell John Harbaugh was doing. It was 28-6. This is extensive coverage, isn't it? It's almost like
the best.
Yeah. Then you have what an upset. I should have taken the Rams. I was too afraid. Sometimes you get afraid to take somebody, even though all the pointing signs were looking for, I thought maybe less than a 7-point win by San Francisco. San Francisco has a lot of injuries, but so did the Rams. When you're losing McCaffrey, when you're missing Deebo Samuel, okay, even though the Rams were missing guys, those two guys are top-line guys, too, as good as anybody. But Cooper Kupp is out. I mean, a lot of these guys are out. They missed Aaron Donald. Both West Coast teams right now, the Rams at 1-2 and the 49ers at 1-2. Who had that happening, folks?
Yeah.
Here's a terrible spot. The Lions 20, the Cardinals 13 as they go out and have an impressive win out in the desert. Okay, I don't know if it's exactly the desert if you have the rough clothes and 72 degrees pouring through. But
right.
Believe me, there's guys that have been stranded in the desert. They'd give anything for a concession stand in 72 degrees. Believe me. 20-13. And then you had the Chiefs in a controversial game last night, beating the Falcons 22-17, Aldo. So those are our rundown of the National Football League. So
You're
now
going to help us win some money for tonight?
Yes, I am, my friend. And then we can get the hell out of here. That crazy day today. Good stuff.
Now, there are 2 Monday night games. You're going to give us one winner, right? And that's the game between the Jaguars and the Bills. The spread is Buffalo minus 5.5, at least as of a couple hours ago. Jaguars versus the Bills over under is 45.5, and the Jaguars versus Bills money line, it's Buffalo minus 250, and the Jags at plus 203. So what do you advise?
We're taking great expense. We have graphics. It shows you everything right there. I know we have the Washington-Cincinnati game on tonight, ladies and gentlemen, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't pull the trigger. I'm sort of leaning Cincinnati that way, but I'm not going to do nothing that way. I'd like to see the Buffalo game get up to sticks. Let me just cue the graphics.
Oh, there it is. Jacksonville.
3-1, baby. I'm right now I'm a 9-2 with the odds couple. I've been on a little bit of a roll, but tonight's a pivotal game for me, as I need Jacksonville for the odds couple. Otherwise, I'll be 2-2 if I don't get them, and 3-2 here. I'd like to get this game. I think Jacksonville can keep it close, but they have not looked impressive. Josh Allen right now is every bit as good as anybody in the league, including Mahomes. He's a great player. That's a quarterback, folks. That's a guy that's 6'5", 240 pounds, you know? And man, loves the high-end graphics.
And by the way, Luis has been following you since 1992, and he says Pappy has been getting us bad news of the Bears since 1992.
I'm not kidding you. That's why I say to Coach Gabriel, Coach, if they're under 40, say, hey, be patient, okay? I drive by Cumberland Chapels. I go like this. I'm not that far away. You know what I mean? The hell you want me to do? You want to see me mangle myself? Have me climb a rope ladder. See, once you stop climbing the rope ladder and you get all twisted up, you're finished.
Right.
When you're young, you can climb that rope ladder. When you're like me and you've been watching the Bears, you're twisted up. You're dangling between the second and third floor, banging into the wall. Lewis. Hey, Lewis. Thanks.
Some more high-end graphics.
I think we had fun today.
I think we did.
I think we were happy. I think we were controversial. I think we were crazy. I think we were upbeat. I think we were downbeat. I think we're ready. And then tonight we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Aldo, what a day.
What a
By
day.
the way, I didn't ask your opinion.
Okay. About?
Give me your opinion of the Bears. Where
Well,
we at right now?
I am concerned about the quality of the coaching. There's
Yes.
no doubt about it. You
I
know,
don't think I was hard enough on them knuckleheads. Believe me.
yeah, I agree with that. They deserve a lot more of the blame than any of the players. And you have to question, Ryan Pose's decision not to invest more in the offensive line.
Absolutely.
You and I grew up, the finest days of our fandom was when Jim Finks invested all that capital into the offensive line. Unfortunately, he didn't stick around to be the GM when the Bears won the Super Bowl because he got angry that Hallis hired Mike Ditka as the coach without consulting him. Finks didn't really want Ditka.
I didn't know that happened. That's a shame because Hallis was right for once in his life.
Yeah, he really was. He had gone through some bad decisions.
When did he pass away, Aldo? When did Finks die?
I want to say 1989 was it?
Because Denise took over.
Right.
And then the McCaskey. By the way, I'm going to say this to everybody.
1994.
19 what?
1994. He left the Bears in 83, but in 1994 he passed away.
I want everybody to take this in the spirit it's in. It has nothing to do with gender. It has nothing to do with any of that. I know we're big on that now. Him, he, hoo, ha. She, he, ho, ha. I'm just going to go as because she gets a honeymoon. Virginia McCaskey sucks as an owner and always has. She's not getting a free pass.
Yeah.
She's going to live to be 130. I'll probably see her at Malnati's in 2030, having a deep dish. I mean, hi, Virginia. I'm 112.
Would you argue with me that her best decision was when she fired her son and then appointed her other son as the GM chairman? I mean, I'm not a George McCaskey fan, but firing Michael McCaskey, who you had a famous fight with over the airwaves.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? That was a good decision. It's never good. I mean, I can't imagine my mother firing me.
No. Takes a lot of guts.
I mean, my God. But you know what? I think that was a decision that was made, but we don't have football people. Poles is under the gun now. And thank you, Brian. That's what I try to do. But there's one guy missing before I go.
Please. Before
we go, because Aldo's been working his ass off all day. It's Monday at the bar. What the fuck? That's right. Happened to Bill Polian, who instigated this whole goddamn thing with Poles, took his flunkies from the Indianapolis Colts. Where is he? Where are you? He disappeared. I'll pick your coach and your GM. It wasn't an open process.
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't. Where is he? Tell Bill Polian we're looking for him.
Yeah. My God. Hold yourself accountable, Mr. Polian.
What? Where the hell is he? Where the hell is he? All right, it was a great show.
Real quick.
I love when you do real quick. Like Ryan Richie. Come on.
What's your feeling about the Bears and Rams? I'm not asking you to take a pick, but do you think that the Bears can get back on track at Soldier Field against a Rams team that is missing its starting wide receivers, although did upset the San Francisco 49ers yesterday?
No, I really don't. We should have lost to Tennessee, and they're terrible. We should have beat Indianapolis, Al, and they're terrible. They are terrible. I mean this. I'm upbeat on Caleb because of some of the quarterbacking I've watched. I think if we can keep them clean and if we build some sort of line, I mean, I'm more hopeful than I was with Fields, and that's wrong for me to say that. Justin went somewhere else. And don't think Caleb Williams ain't watching Justin Fields and Sam Darnold and some of these other quarterbacks change locations. Look at Kirk Cousins. He's still very good. These guys, they change locations, and if you can play, you can play. Right now, though, after what I've watched, there's only two teams in football I think can win this whole thing, the Super Bowl. And they're both in the same conference. I think it's Buffalo and Kansas City. That's who I think it is right now. Kansas City being number one, Buffalo being number two, because their quarterbacks are far and away just so damn good. Detroit, Tampa Bay, and Green Bay, it's a dogfight. I'm not ready to hand Detroit the reins yet. I don't think anybody is. They could have lost that game yesterday. So we'll see what happens, man.
Great stuff, Mike Norris.
All right, buddy.
We'll see you next Monday right here on the Barroom Network, 3 p.m. And don't forget, Rahl Jewelers. Just visit their website, www.rahljewelers, RAHL Jewelers. And we'll see you all next week.
See you, buddy.